with live stream meetings with Rock Dance Theater over here. And tonight, on all of your favorite streaming platforms, we are hitting with a very special episode. Hell, all of them are fucking special because I'm hosting them, right? You cannot get better than Rock Dance Theater home stage. So anyway, my fantastic backdrop wall is still the same color, but I have a fabulous cap from Supreme Unbeing today, so that's kind of the gear. And hell, Andy Martongelli is gonna meet me over here in just a couple of seconds. I know he has his coffee ready, and we're gonna melt some metal faces tonight, shall we? So basically, guys, if you are just tuning in, welcome everyone on Facebook, Twitch, YouTube, even LinkedIn. We hooked that up. That's how pro we are with these things. So yeah, without further ado, please welcome our favorite Italian guitar player for the rest of the world, Andy himself.
Yes.
Yes.
How's it going?
Camera. How's it going?
Good. All good.
Good to see you, Andy. It's been a while, right, since we've done these.
Yeah, how many months? I mean, I can't remember, because it's been like crazy for everybody, of course,
Well, it's been too long. I think May. You know why? Because basically one of the things when I realized when we did the rebroadcast, because each episode that I did kind of in the previous chapter, I did a post-production of it. I was hooking up some links and small videos and clips that, of course, got banned along the way, with censorship shit. But I think it was on your birthday that we had the restream. So first off, happy birthday to you.
Oh, yeah. Cool.
Finally 16 and almost legal, right?
Yeah. Wow. I mean, I just had like two double espresso, to do this live chat. I've been busy until half an hour ago, recording and doing stuff for,
Well, you know what? I am not surprised. You're one of the most busiest, artists in metal out there. You've played and jammed pretty much like with almost everyone. You haven't done anything with Rock Dance Theater, but this is a beginning, right? But especially ever since we've been also on the chat, we've been kind of hanging out, and also, I've been keeping track of what's happening in the
Ellefson camp.
Cool. Which, of course, you have been, so far claimed the musical director. And you know what? I think I'm just going to say it out loud. Like, one of the text messages that actually exchanged made me laugh so much. Because, guys, if anyone does not know Andy Martongelli yet, he's one of these super awesome Ibanez artists. He plays for, among others, the Ellefson band, which is one of the biggest kind of metal projects crossing all borders, I'd say. Like, you're breaking the law as much as you can, but we'll get to that why. But I think it was either 6 a.m. online, which I see you constantly on, and I'm already up and awake and doing all kinds of stuff.
Yeah, it can be like
or 2 a.m. might as well, right?
Yeah, it can be even 2. It can be even whatever. I mean,
you literally texted me like, "Yeah, I'm recording like a motherfucker." Like, things are really going.
Especially with the release of the new Ellefson album, the forthcoming release. I mean, it's like on Wednesday, on Friday, the 20th.
Well, on American time, it's kind of depending on the time, so it's like either nine hours back. But yeah, exactly as you say. For anybody that does not know, No Cover, which is the album of 18 cover songs plus one, a very hidden track for those that don't know yet but happens to have the album. Man, I've been listening to the album, Andy, for like the last 2 months because, I got it early from Tom after the crowdfunding ended, also with the 19th hidden track. Tell me a little bit how that was and how much fingers were burning between, punching a bag and ripping.
Wow, exactly. It was a crazy ride. I mean, it was a crazy ride. Everybody, like David, Tom, me, Bumblefoot, Paolo on drums, and everybody. We were. I mean, it came up as an idea from David and Tom. All of a sudden we were recording like original songs.
Yeah.
And at some point, for some reason, why don't we do, we saw like the Post Malone cover was, Over Now. The reaction from the people, from the fans.
It was wicked, right? Because like one thing kind of that is common, not only through our arts, in performing arts, in visual art, but especially across music genres, it's like everyone is kind of so hermetic, right? If it's not rock and roll or metal or
Exactly.
God forbid is, you know, kind of hip hop or rap, which Aerosmith already did, right? Let's say Walk This Way with Run DMC.
Exactly.
It's like
they were
kind of
pioneers.
tend to be like, oh my God, what the fuck? But they loved it, right? I think it was so incredible how people like dug the track to be metalized as a
it was a surprise. I mean, it was a surprise, to be honest. I mean, and people liked it, and we say, well, why don't we do like a full cover album with all the kind of influences of David? Like, just try to imagine him like as a kid, like growing up and just listening to all those bands come, you know, and just getting inspired by those bands, and
exactly right,
and even Tom as well. And they talk about that, and they talk about how we going to do this, and it has to be quick. So we did it super quick, and the great thing about that, it was like all the you know, David and Tom, they call like all like friends. It was like an album made of friends, you know, like
almost, right? Because in the community, like the world is pretty small, right?
Exactly.
Happens to be actually, but also at the same time, no one had the occupancy of a normal calendar, as you know, like calendars are pretty much, you know, not needed.
Exactly.
Maybe for next year. I don't know if you already got a calendar, but I got a Llama Cool calendar.
Oh, cool! That's
cool the only
one.
thing I said when buying it. I saw it, and it has, of course, like a pair of shades.
Ah, that's super cool. You know, I like that.
I just said I want 2021 to be Llama Cool. Not more than that. It's just like,
not more
please.
than that. You know, just that's enough. That's enough.
Modest. Yeah, exactly. So as you say, like all of the metal friends, right, amongst
so
the metal camp were available to do that, right? Which is insane when you think about it in the real world.
Great, and makes you think how, you know, like the career, David's career, you know, and through the years has been, you know, like the respect, you know, and the friendship that he built through the years. You know, it's amazing to see that, and I could see that, I could witness that, like all these artists, like a Satchel from, you know, there are so many, like Gus G,
track listing,
Andy
right?
James, and I know Todd Kearns from Slash, Satchel from Steel Panther, Greg Handevitt. Then we had like so many, you know, Frank Hannon, Troy Lucchetta, and I mean, the list goes on and on, and on.
Yeah, guys, by the way, when you get it, I hope I'm pointing the right direction, but
yeah, it's the right direction.
It goes out on the 20th, on Combat Records, and then on Ear Music over in Europe, which is a super cool label, of course, as we know. Alice Cooper, amongst others, is on the label. Deep Purple, you know, we have no tape to name how many. Actually, way in the back, Alice Cooper's Paranormal double CD
I've got that as well. I love that album.
Right? Oh God, I actually was. It was one of the last, or was it? No, I'm lying. It was one of the last Scandinavian shows that Alice did, and I've happened to do my own shows like 2 days before, and then also hit the Hard Rock Cafe release party, which was so much freaking fun. I got to tell you, being 13 years in Sweden, in and out, seeing packed and loaded, like as tight as it can freaking possibly be, you know, to see Alice, to see him talk. He was signing the stuff, you know, there was a limited amount of stuff to get, also the t-shirts and the gear.
Great
it was
feeling.
Insane. Yeah. I think it was me and Tommy Henriksen leaving as the last ones. Everyone was just like either drunk or just almost passed out from being excited.
No way.
It was hilarious. Yeah, but yeah, it's just one of these things, right? Cool cover, cool album, cool label, and yeah, like all of a sudden this cover, this project of the year, I would say is possible. But I'm curious, actually, Andy, because of course with the differences, you know, for us being most of the time in Europe, you know, I was raised in California, but I live ever since 1996 in Europe, and also the release timing of songs and all of these, you know, classic artists from Kiss through Slash and Megadeth, you know, and all of that heritage has popped kind of in Europe a little bit later due to, you know, politics and censorship and all of that stuff in different ways. What one of the songs, or let's say artists that you guys covered on the record, among others, has kind of punched you the most, like as a kid starting on guitar, you know, ripping on that acoustic, as you told me last time?
Yeah, I can tell. Like songs like from Twisted Sister, from Judas Priest, of course.
Mhm.
Like Free Will Burning.
Naturally,
Judas
yeah.
Priest is my daily bread. Like daily metal.
There's coffee. There's
Yeah,
that.
yeah.
There's
For me, it's like the fuel for the fire. And as well as of course Def Leppard. And what do we have? Like so many great songs. Sweet, the Sweet. I love the Sweet as well. Like oh, so many. I mean, I think like
Are you
pretty much
blanking out right now, just like me, because
Trick,
there's so many?
AC/DC. Come on.
AC/DC, yeah.
And it's good. It's good because and Queen, and it's good because of course. Then I found that kind of David and Tom kind of music taste is very close to my one as well, because they pick up the songs that I really liked as well, that my favorite as well. So I said, wow, this is amazing. We didn't have to kind of agree. It's there, and it's just still Motorhead. Come on. And
Motorhead as well. Yeah, with
exactly.
Doro, that was a killer one. I love that.
Yeah, and so it feels like it was a challenge. It was challenging because taking care of all the parts coming from Dave Lombardo, Charlie Benante. Come on, and we had
the god of quarantine jams this year, right?
Oh, Charlie, yeah. And but as I said, like there are so many. I'm sorry I cannot list them all because
no worries, we're gonna list them.
The names are amazing, and some of them, like I had the poster. I have the poster on my walls. So it's a true honor, for me. It's personally like to jam.
I can imagine.
Jam with all of them.
It's kind of like a rock and roll dream come true, right? Just like slap me and tell me if it's a dream or if it's reality, right?
Exactly. And of course you take the challenge, when you have to send the demo to all of them. The demo, the pre-production, and of course has to sound like the proper album. You don't say like a dirty.
Well, here's kind of the thing, right? There's so many ways to do it, because if you don't do an original song or a project, right? You either do in my world you would do like a performance through, kind of like you do the staging or the choreography and also maybe the music. But when you do a cover of a classic hit song that really within the first intro or chords, be it bass line, drum line, everybody knows, you can either do two ways. You could go super artistic interpretation. That is always risky unless you fucking know what you're doing. Let me just say that, right? Or really stick to the original, kind of give the tribute to the artist, being dead or alive. If the artists are still 50, 60, 70 years in and still rocking the stage, like many of them still are. Well, Motorhead, of course, unfortunately, none of the original members are with us anymore, right? They're all gone. But still, it's hard. It's tricky to kind of have that done, even if it's already written, right? The music is written, so that part is kind of like right?
Yeah, gotcha. But you know what? The thing that makes me proud of that, of No Cover, and it makes all of us proud of this, is the fact that we paid tribute to those bands, and we respect, of course, the music, like the original music, but still you can feel the personality of every player. And you can feel like that we are all like stage animals, like stage guys.
You do feel the fire, man. Like even if it's through an acoustic layout, it's like you just feel that the fuel is in the fire, and it gets more with each track. And that I find is a great kind of encapsulation. If you had these matrix, two tabs, red and blue. You have a violet one that is just fucking so filed up that everyone is literally waiting to burst, right? And that I find about the project that is going to translate so strongly to an audience that they feel it. And same goes for a music video, same goes for a show. If it creates that kind of response, it's like, oh my God, it's just going to go, right? Everybody out of the house. It means it's done its job properly, right?
It was like that. And all of us, we felt like we were just paying attention to this, especially, whenever we were Alessio Garavello from a Rogue Studio in London. He was taking care
it.
of the mixing, and I was just taking care of the mix with him. And then we sent the stuff to all the songs. And it's not easy to make an album, sending, and make it sound like a proper band. The good thing for us is that we've been on stage for years. We've been around the world, especially David but us as well. We've been around for a while now.
You know how it's done. I mean, I would imagine that
Exactly.
Being an artist that is just a recording artist or never has hit the stage, all of a sudden tries to pull off a huge project of this magnitude. I would be skeptical, right? But when you really have your not only stage chops, your playing chops, and then figure out, with the technology that we luckily have also in this pandemic, like as well this hangout, we have almost a pre-cover release party over at Rock Dance Theater, right?
Yes.
If not that, we would be so screwed. So all of that together, makes it possible, and it's wicked that you have all of these tools and elements to do that. So
yeah. And the another special thing is like that we trust each other. Nobody told each other like what to do. Like we just went straight to the point. And because we didn't have time as well, but we trust each other. Like and the result is like to me, I mean personally, it feels like a proper band. You know what I mean? Like okay, do your thing. I know it's gonna kick ass.
It feels organic. Yeah, I know exactly what you mean, because that's one of these things that maybe not connoisseurs pick up, but kind of regular fans as well, or just people that listen even to classic music and not necessarily specialize in heavy metal, and thrash or death metal bands. But yeah, it comes across. If you feel that it doesn't lock in technically, or if the vibe is off, you're gonna hear it. You
don't even start that. In our case, we don't even. If it doesn't, if there's something wrong, just take it out. Take it out. Just do what you can do. And do it at the maximum you can. That's the point of. And I think we achieved that kind of goal in No Cover. I mean, people will be happy to hear this song, this classic rock song, and sometimes not the most famous song of the.
Yeah, they're deep cuts, which is another super fun twist. Risky, then again, because people would expect, okay, a cover song or a cover album would be the bar standard, something that you hear at 7 a.m. when you're drunk. But no, they're actually, really selected and picked. I don't know what the word is right now because I'm running out of coffee and I drank just
special one. We went through the.
But it's this extra taste of the songs, like Beth, for example. That was one of the songs, like for me personally, and it has nothing to do with me being a woman or anything. But I find that one of the most romantic ballads like ever.
It
right?
is. It
is like, oh my God, right? Like the vocals and the piano. What else?
Yeah.
And
it's magic.
It is magic.
The whole world knows that it's magic.
Yeah.
It gives you something. It gives you like a goosebumps, and as well, like I like to. I really liked to play like Riff Raff. Riff Raff was a good ride, because that song is
ride on the guitar.
Exactly, that you can tell. I mean,
I can imagine. Oh yeah.
I mean, you're kind of dealing with Angus and Malcolm, the masters of.
It has that power, and it does power you up when you not only play it, but when you listen to it. It's funny because that organic kind of part that you talked about with with live shows, that I'm also one of these stage animals. Is just like when you go for it, you go for it. You rip skin off, you bleed, and then all of a sudden you figure out, oh, I got my toe broken. I was actually talking to one of my friends the other day. And I have one of these like wear and tear fractures when I was like 13, I think. At the moment, you just kind of, rip it. And then, 38 years later or whatever, it calls you in the morning. It's like, what the fuck is that? So,
see.
But at the time, you don't care. Yeah. You just want to give it all to the fans and to the music and to the show. So
that's a real deal,
Yeah.
And on Riff Raff, we have like Jason McMaster on vocals together with Tom.
Right?
And the two of them, like they are killer. The two singers together are just smashing it. and on a Queen on a sheer heart attack. We have a Doro, and we have Bumblefoot, and that's a and Tom as well, of course. Tom is everywhere, of course, in the album, and the combination of all of them, it makes like a big rock party, So I'm super excited about like the release of the new album of No Cover. You should check it out.
You and me both. By the way, I think we have an Italian friend popping in. It's going to be a very Italian episode, I feel, because we're going to have one of your friends popping in quite soon. We're not going to give that away. Who's that going to be? If you haven't read the description of the episode, it means you need to pick up on your literature, subscribe to Rock Dance Theater TV, or just read it top to bottom. It helps.
It helps. Yeah.
Anyway, but speaking of shows, Andy, I remember that a couple of months back, we were all over summer in Europe, kind of lucky and blessed to do a show or two. I was so lucky to do 2 shows at a street art festival, and I was just like excited as a little kid, as if I was starting my career again, right? And I think you also played the Arthemis gig, right?
Yeah, we played a show with Arthemis, and it was the vibe was we were electric,
was it also super exciting but kind of fucking nerve-wracking at the same time?
I mean, I can tell it wasn't. I mean, it wasn't strange, good feeling. Like you felt like
that's what I mean.
That happy, that it was overwhelming, like very over and over. Well, it just the excitement was even too much that you had to calm yourself to. Otherwise, I'm gonna finish the song. I'm gonna rush. I'm gonna finish the song before while the other guys are playing. I'm gonna finish the gig.
Yeah, you're gonna be like, okay, I'm done.
Well, we were so damn excited, and it was great to play together, and even without rehearsal, and still sounding like an album, like lions, and. You guys, sorry to interrupt. Where all of you guys place? Because I know you're over in Verona. Where do the rest of the band from Arthemis? I'm in Verona. Keiko, our drummer, is in Vicenza, which is like 1 hour away from here. And JT and Fabio, they are from Modena, so still 1 hour and 10 minutes away from here. So it's not that difficult to catch, together together and play. But the fact is that we're all super busy teaching, recording, and doing gigs during the our normal life, and we all and recording new music, not only for Arthemis but for multiple musicians as well. Yeah. So we pretty much rehearse when we have to put up the show, like to get the show done. Like we do like 3 days of rehearsal.
I just wanted to ask, is that 3 days in advance that you guys just come together, live together, eat together, and then on stage, or
exactly? And then we go live forever. Right. Once we put out another album, we put together the new show, and we got songs for like an hour and a half show, or for a 2 hours and a half show. And then we pick up songs during we already have we record everything, we film everything. Then everybody rehearse on the video or on the music.
That's a good feedback always, right? Just for saying, kind of for staging, for how much you lock in with each other, right? It's a cool tool.
Exactly. Once you do that, because we are kind of experienced on stage, we did so many tours, during the year. So luckily we don't need that much we don't need to go through the parts. That everybody's going to play the right thing. It's just the way you glue everything and you create like a kind of cool show, like an enjoyable. And
basically directing and choreographing who goes where, and where you do the stage bows, and after how many applause songs at the end.
Having kind of like the guide, it leads you, it helps you, like having like the main lines, the main guides, and then the rest in the middle. You can improvise some stuff. You can make the show unique. It's not always the same, of course, but as long as you have like those like 10 things that you know you're doing in that place in that moment, the rest is you just get
The
wild
rest
and
falls
have
in,
fun.
right? The
Get wild
moment
and have fun.
the curtain rises and you feel the crowd, right? It just hits you, and okay, you're just
And
good
then
to
it hits
go.
you, and then you know you never know. Apart from those 10 things, the rest it's up to you.
The rest 180 that you also cannot control, just they just flow.
Exactly, it can go because we trust each other. You know, even you know with Artemis, we've been there for like 20 years now because we started like when we were kids, and in the first
Is
album,
that an anniversary actually of Artemis, or like was there?
it was in um well, the first proper album, not the demo or whatever, it was in 1999.
Okay.
So it
would be like 21 years going on 22.
21. Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
I did not do my homework. I just love finding that out, hanging out with you. So
of course. It's good.
Like, okay, I've been catching up on my rock and metal history aside of writing my own memoir throughout the pandemic because we had a lot of time, right? But speaking of staging, I wanted to ask you how you guys approach staging. Is it literally like in a couple of big four metal bands that you all guys are kind of lead guitar, lead drums and all of that? Or is that definitely a band leader, be it, vocalists and everyone else kind of, plop, 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 falls into their spot. You come together on the monitor at the end and you just rip it until the finale. Like, how do you stage your Artemis shows? I'm curious.
Well, I mean, the good thing about it, we are, like with Artemis, like it's just one bass player, one guitarist.
Well, you cannot have two. That's greedy, right?
Well,
I would do that. I would totally do that.
No, well, I mean, I like the fact that it helped me through the years to be a better player, of course, because there's nobody, not other guitar players on stage. So you have to do like the rhythm. You got to make it interesting.
Yeah.
And you got to do like the leads and the rhythm and make it work. Like it sounds like huge. Like it has to sound like two guitarists, even if you
sounds like you would be having an overdub from the studio, right?
No, we don't do that. We just play everything.
Yeah, exactly. But it sounds as if it could be.
Yeah, it sounds like. I mean, luckily, it sounds like because I mean, having being influenced by guitarists like Randy Rhoads, Tony Iommi, whatever, Malmsteen, those bands with one guitar. I like, of course, Metallica, Megadeth, all the big four and so many bands, of course, but I've always been fascinated by those bands with one guitar player and, like kind of minimal, but everybody doing the right thing.
Yeah. And
sometimes even with JT, we kind of do an orchestration because there's not another guitar. So JT, Giorgio Terenzani, the bass player, he plays my parts and I go over that and it sounds like the album.
Yeah.
It's just always crazy how but it's good. Like it comes up like quickly all the time.
It's choreographing the parts.
We look at each other like we look at each other like no. Okay. So he already does that. He already plays my parts, and we'll make it work. And I trust me, you don't feel the need of another guitar player.
I trust you. I haven't seen an Artemis live gig. Hopefully, I will soon. Somewhere around Europe. But yeah, as you say. Why I ask you, because I find it always fascinating, me starting this rock dance theater project that is, I think, genius, in my mind at least, I'm sticking to my version. But I always find it fascinating taking out of the picture, okay, studio recording, putting down an album, all of that side that leads towards a product, if you will, which is an album. But in terms of the live show and staging that, I find that exactly the same thing as choreographing, putting exactly as you said, the parts with JT, where you kind of, pick a slot, okay, intro, okay, solo, okay, rhythm, and where you fill in, where you overlap. It's composition, right? Like we used to learn as kids, this A, B structure, A, B, C, A, B, A, whatever. So it's kind of sculpting that, I find. And then later in the show, it's so fascinating because many people think it's not rehearsed or whatever, but it also comes from that organic vibe.
It works somehow. It works. Can you imagine like Queen in the studio? They had like crazy or everything, arrangements, whatever. And live they were just the four of them, and it sounded like it sounded great, and it
Well,
sounded
Josh,
special.
there's so many bands that are just 4 members, right? And
Yeah.
not 5. To name a couple. The aforementioned Mr. Ellefson of Megadeth and there's many, and for me it's kind of having enough, because okay, Iron Maiden is like what, 6, 7, 8, 17 band members,
Yeah,
right?
but they're killer. They are
drum players, right?
metal. Yeah, of course they yeah, but yeah, and it's always challenging, and it's always like that you gotta be, you gotta rock on stage, you gotta jump, you gotta do it because I cannot stand still while I'm playing. It's something that I can't
trust me, there are still bands like that. I think last time I've seen something like that was a band opening for the Iron Maidens, the only official girl cover band out there, right? I don't remember the name. Like, it literally went out and went with what and it was the bass player, right? Me being fascinated and in love with the bass right now, which is probably going to be like the next Rock Dance Theater project. The dude was just standing there with a tape X'd next to the drum kit. He did not fucking move for 90 minutes.
Forever.
I was dying. Yeah. I was like rocking out and moving around with the music. Yes. The dude could not be less inspired. And I was like, what's wrong?
Sometimes it's pre, you already know that you're going to stay there. It's rules. Sometimes it's rules,
I know, rules. But still, it's like, to be honest, it's the weirdest thing. Music is organic and very much physical for me, right? It's like seeing you on any kind of small video, on EMG or Ibanez, whatever, just ripping. It's like it's an extension of the body. The music instrument is a part of you at some point. So for me, it's just the weirdest thing, But hey, that's my job. They pay me to move and move a lot and very fast.
It's great, and it's cool. Like, I like the videos. I like it. It's all and the choreographies, and it's not easy even to invent them. To get
not really. But speaking of invention, it's one of these things that just kind of channels through. It was not cerebral or intellectual, I gotta say. It was literally on Steven Tyler's birthday. I was sleepless in my bed till 7 a.m., checking out stuff on YouTube. After 7 hours of Dream On, it just kind of hit me. And it had nothing to do with the aesthetic, not necessarily, it just kind of inspires you, but in a way that, oh, fuck, I know what I'm going to do now. And it's just, done within 40 seconds, right? So, yeah. But thank you. That's super cool of you to say.
Yeah, you never know when it comes, but it comes. It just comes up, and then you gotta go through that. Even when I'm writing stuff, even when now that we are writing new songs with David, Tom, and all the Paolo, and
because also the original album of original material is coming out somewhere, hopefully in the nearest future, right?
Yeah, exactly.
And you guys.
And we're super excited about that, because that you can hear the identity of the band. You can hear the band doing their thing, and you can get the vibe quickly. It's very straightforward. It's very songs like Simple Truth. You can tell what's going on. It's in your face.
It's a kick-ass punk fucking in your face song as well.
Exactly.
And speaking of, you never know where it comes from or might come from. I think you know this dude. Someone is literally crashing our studio today as an extra special surprise guest over in Italy as well.
Hey, what's up, guys? Hello, everyone.
Andrea is like, oh
no! I know.
I knew it was coming. I knew it was coming.
Come to think of it, right now, I suck at scheduling these things because you guys are literally playing and jamming with each other nonstop. You're probably sick of seeing each other. So
no. I mean, we haven't seen each other for a while now. I think he came, of course. Paolo was, funny story. He was a drummer in Arthemis in 2012. He recorded.
Oh, really?
2012, yeah.
That was one of the questions. What's the story between you guys? Because for all of you audience members checking in just now on all of our social media, we have just welcomed into the studio Paolo Caridi from Italy as well. Because come to think of it, I have literally half of the Italian lineup of the Ellefson band in my living room studio today. So that's killer. Welcome. Thank you for joining.
Thank you so much.
So, okay, Artemis, but was that your first musical encounter or literally earlier than that, kindergarten and so?
I can't remember, man. When?
I should do my research on that.
Yeah, well, I have to just
Well-
gotta go back and see what happened. You know,
Well,
how did it happen? Oh, he was playing with Killing Touch,
oh yeah,
a band with JT on bass,
JT, yeah, and 2009.
Michele Lupi, like amazing singer and keyboard player, was
All right.
Killing Touch, and Whitesnake, of course. And so he was the drum. He was the drummer. So we met there. We met there back in the days, and we became friends. Like we like the same movies, same stupid things, same jokes, and
An Avengers series, right?
yeah, and everything. I mean, all the bullshit you can think like that. You know,
I can imagine.
we're on the same path. We're on the same
Yeah.
line.
That's awesome.
You can see behind me. You know.
Yeah, and I got the
Somewhere.
same Hulk. I got the same Hulk over there. Exactly the
Yeah,
same.
The same one, yeah.
You know what, guys? I was literally thinking, like, before we went on a couple of minutes, like, doing the Green Moon sound check with you guys, like, hey, there should be some kind of project that kind of incorporates, you know, the Marvel Studios, kind of like a metal, either video or cartoon series of music videos, you know, because everybody is, like, especially, God, Andy, you with all of the superheroes, right?
Wow.
I could be Wonder Woman. You could do Spider-Man. I don't know. Paolo could do... What is your favorite character?
I don't
I have
know.
no idea. That's why
I
you're
wanna
on
be
the show
Hulk.
to tell us this.
I want to be Hulk, please.
Okay, Hulk. Okay, done.
That's
What's
the
your
one.
favorite superhero character, Paolo? Or two? Doesn't matter.
I think probably Iron Man is my favorite.
Iron Man. I love
Yeah.
the song too, by the way.
Cool.
So
It's
tell
so
me,
cool.
Paolo, how was basically working on the first couple of singles that you did through the Ellefson band, Over Now and Simple Truth, earlier in the year? Like, time has really passed throughout this no cover project right now, but yeah, let's come back a little bit to March and April. I think it was 2020. Who layered the first grand? Was it the bass line that the boss said, the aforementioned David Ellefson, or was it drums? Like, how did the process start on that to kick off?
We started to before the tour we did in November 2019. During the rehearsal. Yeah, before the tour, we started to, you know, do you remember, Andy, to play few riffs?
Yeah, we started getting into like it was the first rehearsal we had, like the only one rehearsal we had.
Yeah,
and we just wrote together like Simple Truth. David started with a Simple Truth, like a bass riff, and then Tom started singing, and we were kind of jamming.
Jamming on, you know. And,
and then on so that song was born like that, jamming, you know, and then we made it like we fixed some stuff, but basically all the ideas were there already.
Nice.
Jamming. Let's write a song. Let's write a song because Paolo was already. I mean, we had to rehearse all the songs, and then we started like 2 or 3 songs, and David looks at me, and I said, I told you, we don't have to rehearse. I told you.
Then we started to jam, you know.
Yeah, and Tom and David said, "Well, I think we should write a song." It's all right. Let's write.
It's that easy already, and it lost, right?
Really, I mean, it's not made up. It's like that.
No, I totally believe it now.
Paolo was already there, and we said, "Well, what should we do? Going to eat something, or let's write a song?" You know. Like, and Paolo is there.
How ironic, right? To have a decision like being Italian, and guys, that is no bullshit. Basically, Italian food is the best. Eat or write a killer song that is going to be a hit. Like, what do I do?
already was thinking about the pizza when we were seeing that, but then we had to write a song. So and it turned out to be good.
The best projects are born in the most extreme situations. So there you go.
Exactly. And then about Over Now, Tom being a friend of Post Malone as well, and David being a friend of Post Malone as well. They were talking about like just we should do a cover, like of Over Now. And then and then I started like just creating like the proper like the project, you know, for the song, like just having the original song on top of that, no, underneath, and just kind of create all the riffs and everything. Then David put his touch with the bass, all the great bass licks that you can find in the song.
Yeah.
And then I sent everything to Paolo, and he started jamming on that. And then of course Tom made great, a killer job on the vocals. And also Bumblefoot was doing like some crazy backing vocals in the song.
Yeah, so, he was doing the harmonies and stuff. Yeah.
Yeah, he's amazing. I mean, everything.
Yeah.
Everything. He's incredible.
It's what we call a full-blown multi artist, not even a multi-instrumentalist. Like you do it all from A&R and management through, you know, the whole kind of organization. So
everything.
Yeah, it's funny. Speaking of these projects that are literally born overnight, I don't know, Paolo, if you saw that, but it was literally as well my reactions towards Over Now. And hands over here, I did not hear the original by Post Malone because it's not necessarily my genre in the sense that I kind of never gravitate towards things that someone doesn't throw my way. You know, it's usually, a great friend recommending a cool track and that I dig it and I'm in love and I go down the catalog and stuff. But yeah, it was literally like, holy crap, what the fuck is this? You know what? I know exactly what to do with this. And it kind of hit me, you know, because these jams started, right? All of the guys started doing these online videos. I hooked up one of the first episodes also with you, Andy, and so on.
Yes.
And I figured I might as well do like a video. I have an exact perfect footage that I haven't published yet. It's been kind of, you know, lying around for, well, a substantial amount of time because of a falling out with a certain collaborant before. And it just like happened to fall, you know, right on top of it. And I was like, oh my God, this fucking kills. So yeah, there you go. 2 hours done, you know, let it out.
Quickly, super quick. Yeah.
Well, you know, I figure there's kind of no time to waste. And I want to ask you, Paolo, you being a drummer, for us, choreographers, I say, and from out of my first education, I'm a professional dancer, which means coordination, you know, all limbs at the same time kind of thing. I have to ask you, how is it with working out aside of being a drummer? Do you think it's a super academic thing that you can study and learn? Or do you have to be born with that coordination that you're literally doing, you know, double hi-hats, you know?
Well, I think that
how it's done. You're a heavy metal drummer, you know, and jazz is different, you know, pop is different, all of that. But this is a very demanding style of music and performance at the same time. So
I think that it's really important to you know, study all style of music. When I teach at my students, I really want that they listen and study different style of music. So we go through metal to pop to Latin to jazz, and I think that probably this is one of the most important thing, because increase your musical skills, you know, and of course coordination is probably the most important thing about this instrument, because without coordination it's impossible to play drums, you know. So you have to study day and years to improve your skills, improve your right hand, left hand, right foot, left foot, and all together.
And it's kind of never ending, I think. I mean,
it's never ending. Yeah, of course.
And actually, the further you are in the process, sorry to interrupt, Paolo, the further you are in the process, the more you kind of need to explore, because all of a sudden, you know, 20, 30 years in the game, you're like, oh my God, I know nothing. It's like, holy shit, there's so much ground to cover still.
Absolutely, yes. Exactly.
To cover. See what I did there? No cover.
Exactly.
To cover.
Interesting. What's your dominant limb, by the way? The hand that you write with or eat, is that right or left for you, Paolo?
Right hand.
Okay. Would you say that affects in any way? Because that's exactly one of these super interesting discussions. And when we're on an educational note, I'm as well a teacher since always, ever since I was a teenager. I really loved kind of digging into things and spreading information, the ones that I already knew, and then also exchanging. And Andy, you're a teacher at not only Verona Music Institute, right? I think you're also a head of the rock
department, in a modern music institute.
Wicked. That's wicked.
It's an Alex Ornello school, and he's the president, and he's been my teacher as well, and he's been playing with Paolo as well in a band,
in a power fusion trio.
Power fusion trio.
Power fusion, I like that.
Angels and Demons, isn't that?
Yeah, that's exactly why I ask you guys, because for me it's always interesting, this academic approach towards playing, towards performance. Some musicians can't even read notes. They cannot write music. Sheet music for them is literally like a cross for vampires kind of thing.
Yeah, gotcha.
The skin is squirming and it just kills all the whole joy of playing. How was it with you, Paolo? Go first. Like, what was it always studying first the chords, as you say, in multiple genres, and then learning, or just like, I don't know, picking up anything, a metal and a lip gloss, and just like
do whatever you want
out of your furniture at home?
Yeah, when I was a kid, yeah, but no, I think that reading is really important today. That's because you if you can read, you can study a book, you can really probably understand much better what you are going through. You know what I mean? So yeah, I think that's really important.
So basically, as a home message takeaway, kids, learn both. Be organic with whatever you're doing, but also learn the academics of it. Kind of depending. What was the percentage for you, like early on? When did you start playing drums? Like really falling in love with the very first drum kit? Like.
So I started playing drums at 16.
Okay.
That's a little late compared to the other drummers. A lot of a lot of drummers start at age of 4, 5.
Well, you know what? I don't think age matters at all, because
no, it doesn't matter.
When you look at YouTube and you see these small Korean kids or Chinese kids not only dancing perfectly at age 2, shredding on guitar like Eddie Van Halen incarnated.
Yeah.
It's just, I go, I'm an adult by now, and I go, what chances do we have? It's like, come on.
That's crazy. I mean, it's always. I mean, you already know that there is somebody just doing crazy stuff.
There's always someone better, right?
Yeah, but it's always the thing that makes you play. If you want to take the game, want to play the game. You know what I mean? Like you can. It makes you improve if you still want to be on it. And that's. I mean, that to me works. It works like that. Yeah. Whenever I see somebody better than me, there are like billions, and it always inspires me, and I just try to see if I like some of the kind of his or her technique, or that kind of something which is different from my playing, and as Paolo said, like it's good to listen to every kind of different kinds of music, like to get inspired by. Sometimes I like to listen to other instrument other than guitar, to be inspired by keyboards or whatever, cello or a bass player, or a great singer,
yeah, or
drums, or drum fills, where you can play together with the guitars, like make it like a kind of organic sound with the band. It's a whole. There's a whole world of things to learn, and if you got ears, and if you are hungry for that, for those things.
Well, for me, it's passion. If you're hungry enough to dig all of that and make it your own, it's just what else do you need, right?
Exactly.
What would be musically, and maybe not only musically, but the strangest kind of furthest extremes from what you guys are playing with Ellefson, with Arthemis, like you, Paula, and you, Andy, that is kind of the most extreme, faraway genre. I know my kind of place that would be the opposite, as you said, Andy, other instrument and so on. What is it for you guys?
Oh,
like off the top of your heads.
There's a lot.
I'm not gonna say folk music because that's a very interesting, basket as well.
Yeah, I like country. Country music. When you listen to that, there's so many interesting things for guitarists, for guitar players,
yeah.
And as well as well, I like blues, but I love blues. But country music, it always makes there's always some surprise, or have you ever listened to that band I call Hazy Dixie? The band that they play like with all the
yeah, with the banjos and stuff.
Yeah.
The
banjo, and it's super fast and and there are some phrasing, which is it's like kind of like guitar, but it's not the same thing.
But it's not.
It's fascinating. It keeps just.
And I think instead of the hi-hat, they would do not even the cowbell, but like the steel iron, right? That the steel mill would do.
Yeah, exactly. And it's amazing how they can make it sound crazy. Make it sound catchy and great. So
yeah, it works.
I've never heard about that thing that man called like C6 Steve. He's an old man playing like he played. John Paul Jones played on his album as well.
Yeah. Okay. Sorry, I'm good with music and sounds and project, but terrible with names.
Yeah, C6 Steve is an old man.
Yeah, that's why we have the names written down so that I know who I'm talking to.
Exactly.
Including myself. So
it works. Yeah, and this man, I mean, he plays like he makes his own instruments, and he plays with those instruments, and it sounds rock. It sounds amazing. It sounds like some songs sounds like Led Zeppelin, early Led Zeppelin. I mean, and he makes his kind of cigar box guitar or whatever with pieces of wood, and the album sounds great. So there's just no limits. It's just no boundaries, as my brother Michelangelo would say.
I could not agree more. Yeah, but speaking of inspiration and kind of invention, I cannot leave this kind of episode not touching on the aforementioned inventor, which we lost recently. I think one of the last inventors in, heavy rock music and guitar, Eddie Van Halen, right? Guys, not only we were paying a tribute this year because he was one of the guys that literally was a pioneer with so many things, not only styles of playing, performance, being a full-on organic rockman, but also someone that was way ahead of any kind of generation, and very, very honestly was kind of misunderstood very early on, like many pioneers. I think it's either just too weird or too far stretched.
Like all the pioneers.
Yeah, it's just like, what the hell are you doing, dude? You got to be in a mental asylum, and then all of a sudden, like, oh, the artist is gone, and we all learn to appreciate it.
He was all of a sudden learn. He was a genius. Everybody say that,
Yeah.
But Eddie Van Halen, what really was genius, and not only like introduced like so many ideas on how to build a guitar, an electric guitar, how to get that kind of sound, not just the hands, not just the tone and the ideas, the musical ideas,
but the actual tool to produce it with. Yeah.
It's good to see like those videos and those pictures when he's building stuff.
I love those. Yeah, from the workshop.
It's that deep. I mean, it's like music, like full on, and how he evolved like with even with Van Halen, like just at some point playing keyboards and putting a lot of keyboards in the album that weren't used to be there. In Van Halen, in the original kind of core sound of Van Halen, and still when he came up with that sound with so many keyboards, everybody was putting keyboards in
yeah, right. The moment one guy does it, everybody does it all of a sudden.
Exactly. It's that big. It's that big, and and his legacy. I mean, you know, like not to say that because you have to say that, but because it's true. It will never die, because
100%.
it was so full of everything, so full of ideas, creativity, and it's good. Like when you listen to his interviews, it's even better.
Yeah.
You can understand the man, you know, you can understand how he is kind of gets surprised by things, and he gets hit by something, and he write a great song, you know, like where it is pure instinct, you know.
Yeah. And speaking of pure, like that's the kid within. I remember in one of the interviews, like super early, somewhere in New York, I don't know, 80, whatever. And he was saying like, yeah, there's like kind of an inner kid. I just kind of crack it open and see what happens, you know, like it works, it's awesome. It doesn't work, who cares? I take the next one, right? When he is hacking up guitars and, you know, taking out pickups and just rewiring stuff, just learning and exploring as you go, right? So, and
Exactly.
that kind of lack of any fear is exactly the thing that makes you all of a sudden make amazing things happen. And many times you don't know what you're doing because you're kind of just
Most
in
of
the
the time,
process.
yeah.
Yeah.
He'd
And
been kind of like fearless, and he didn't give a shit about like everybody judging.
no,
He just didn't give a shit. He just did that, and it's kind of like, sometimes it's kind of like my attitude. Like you know, Paul knows that. You know, whenever
hey, you're Italian, you don't give a shit, period.
basically,
I have a story to back that up too.
okay. But yeah, basically when I kind of like when I go and write something, it's weird to say, but when I write something, like it comes up, and it's what I want to hear. It's not what I want people to like, you know. And
Yeah.
and I think if I genuinely like what I did and enjoy that while I'm playing outside, you know, maybe some people will like it, you know, and maybe not, but it's not my problem, you know. It's not a problem. It's just that is
I totally know what you mean.
you know what I mean. I really don't. I know if they like it, wow. I mean, I'm so glad.
Well, if they like it, it's kind of like a gratitude that, okay, cool, this seems to work, so I might as well continue. I will either way, but still. By the way, we lost Paolo, but I think it was his battery kind of screaming, maybe like that he disappeared. Hopefully he's going to pop back in.
Yeah,
we didn't mean to be rude, Paolo. Please come back.
It might have some kind of internet problem. Yeah.
But we checked that before.
Okay.
But you know what? Speaking of, like, exactly as you said, this like kind of fearlessness and just not giving a crap. Very early on in my rock dance theater, even before I kind of named it, I had a very tiny, and I didn't realize that until actually his passing, that I had a little Eddie Van Halen moment myself. I remember as today. I was in my old apartment in Wrocław, sitting with my very first former guitar player, Victor. Kind of like 2 or 3 a.m. We were planning tour dates. We had the whole like A4 paper lined out. Okay, there's that date. Kind of boring stuff, and like stuff that he never looked forward to, you know, but I did because I was the managing kind of brain of it. And all of a sudden, I don't know who was it from the two of us that said, hey, like, all of a sudden switch. We have this one scene in the On Edge show where we wanted to connect a double neck kind of thing in the grand finale. I had a Les Paul Junior at the time. Oh no, an Epiphone. Sorry, Epiphone Junior, which I really loved at T-Burst. And he happened to have like a Gibson EBO bass, but like pure, just a piece of wood that was a neck through. Had an amazing tone. Oh my God, I don't remember the wood right now, but it's just like, it was killer in itself. And we figured, hey, let's do something with it. I know, we're gonna hack half of it from the bass. We're gonna hack another half from the body of my guitar, and we're gonna fucking glue the thing together.
No way.
And I swear to God, it was winter, I think November. We rushed over to his place. He had all of the instruments, all of the gear, but we were cutting them literally with like kitchen knives. we had no professional luthier stuff. Like that's a totally separate story.
Sometimes
But
you don't need that. Sometimes you don't need that.
it's literally like we were covered with dust and guitar parts and all of that. And at the very end, we took glue. We scotch taped it. We did the whole pressing around it. And I still have like some videos from that. And now when I think of Eddie, I was like, oh my god, it's just literally how it felt back then. It was like, fuck, let's try
moments.
something.
One of those moments. Yeah, cool.
It was a total Frankenstein. And the ironic part of it, that it never actually made its way to be on stage. It kind of, it was one of these things that, due to certain reason, was never used. But, again, the process kind of, and the thought of it, it was just like, oh my God, the coolest.
That was special. That was special. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, that was a fun moment. And speaking of fun moments, while we slowly wrap this up, I don't know if Paolo is going to come back to say hello or goodbye, but guys, Paolo Caridi was with us and hopefully is somewhere in the World Wide Web universe.
So yeah, exactly.
He's watching.
Multiverse. He's in a multiverse.
He's cracking up right now, right? But yeah, this is a super cool moment to actually hang out. It's the 18th of November over here. The No Cover, the aforementioned Ellefson project, drops in 2 days. And funny enough, actually, the American side of the band, which is Bumblefoot, David Ellefson himself, the guys are actually on tour or on their
they're doing like some gigs. And
they're on the Midwest tour. And today, I think they're in Pekin, Illinois, as we speak, like later tonight. So that's a cool kind of coincidence as well. So
yeah, that's great. That's great. I mean, I couldn't go because of the I cannot fly to the United States, and so because of the moment. But of course, when it will all be all right, we're gonna go back on the road.
Yeah, it's all gonna happen eventually. It's like one of these things. But yeah, don't even get me started. We're all in a very good and uplifted, inspired mood. Please let's not talk about borders shut down.
Guys, they're great people. So you see all the comments.
And now I just literally looked at the chat, and I don't want to leave our cool viewers out. So thank you so much, guys, for popping in and hanging out with us. Andy, tell me, aside of all of the good things, naturally, Ellefson coming out of Combat Records, what's happening with your other projects other than grunt work as an artistic music director for the band? What else that is fun and cool that we could plug? And that actually goes for Paolo as well. Yay! He came back just to, you know what? Bye, we're going.
Yeah, it's the Black Paolo. Yeah, is the Black album
He's
cover.
Frozen. I love that. That's gonna be a perfect screenshot right there.
Exactly. Yeah.
Hey, let's all do it. Like.
Crazy, but hey, I'm at the moment. I'm also like writing like new music, like a new instrumental music, new Arthemis music as well, and so even some kind of crazy instrumental stuff that was there, and then I wrote, even yesterday I wrote a new instrumental song out of the blue. I just didn't expect. It was unexpected, but it sounds good. So it's
all right.
Just check it out.
Sounds good. Always something to look forward to that we will not speak of yet, because exciting things are happening in multiple camps. So that we can get to talk about them again when the time comes.
Yeah, for sure. Yes.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Well,
Paolo
this is so much fun hanging out with you, Andy. Yeah, Paolo did his scary fucking metal freeze, and he just left. That's like a perfect exit, mic drop moment.
Yeah, exactly. Okay. Oh, Paolo. Oh, there we have it. Yeah.
You know what? We have an idea, Paolo, for you. You finish up. We go.
Yeah.
Okay. Great.
Go drink a coffee and then see you later. Okay.
Exactly. You know what? We got shit to attend to. We don't want to bore anyone. And basically, a drum solo is something that I really organically love.
I would like to see that as well. Yeah.
Me too. Shall we? And on another note, guys, stay tuned for part 2 of this stream with Paolo Caridi himself, of, among others, the Ellefson band on solo. Check it out later. Anyway, guys, thank you so much, Paolo and Andy. It's always so much fun to have you. And
thank you so much. Thank you for having me. Thank you for having us. And to everybody, like, just check out the new No Cover album, Ellefson Band, and you're gonna love it. You're gonna love it because it's
what
raw.
He said. What he said. What he said. What he said. I'm never gonna get this right. Like some choreographer, I am.
Yeah, I tried that, but okay. Yeah, like Spider-Man. I can point at Spider-Man. Yeah, or just clean his nose. You know, like maybe. Yeah, exactly.
I've done that. I can teach you. The emerging limb.
Yeah,
But that's for another episode.
I get all like the spider web on them. My finger.
Exactly.
Cool.
Anyway, guys, stay metal, keep
Stay
rocking.
metal.
Subscribe to not only Andy Martongelli, but everything Ellefson. That pretty much by that hashtag is going to lead you towards. And also by the end of the episode, while we wrap this up, I'm going to drop all of the links for you guys to check out so that you know exactly where you're going. Rockin'.